A world in turmoil. Gaza, trade wars, and a nation's uncertain future. Israel's devastating offensive in Gaza. A humanitarian catastrophe unfolding. The relentless Israeli offensive in Gaza continues to inflict a staggering humanitarian cost. Defense Minister Israel-Gaza's recent announcement of a significant expansion of attacks and the seizure of further territory signals a potential long-term shift in the region's political landscape, raising profound concerns about the future of Gaza and its people. The brutal reality on the ground paints a harrowing picture. Thousands of casualties, including hundreds of children, according to UNICEF. The sheer scale of the death toll, estimated by Gaza's health ministry to exceed 50,000, predominantly civilians, is staggering. This figure aligns with the Lancet Medical Journal's January report, which estimated a 40% higher death toll during the first 9 months of the conflict. International agencies corroborate the severity of the crisis, estimating at least 110,000 injuries, many severe. The discovery of 15 bodies of Palestinian paramedics and rescue workers, found with signs of execution-style killings, further underscores the brutality of the conflict. These gruesome discoveries highlight the targeting of essential medical personnel, hampering life-saving efforts and deepening the humanitarian crisis. The Israeli military's sweeping evacuation orders for residents of Rafah and surrounding areas, forcing tens of thousands to relocate to already bombarded areas, add another layer of suffering. Many displaced individuals have only recently returned to homes now reduced to rubble. The relentless bombardment, including over 100 strikes on the purportedly humanitarian zone of Al-Mawasi between May and January, showcases a disregard for civilian life and international humanitarian law. The deliberate disruption of essential services, including the complete blockage of humanitarian aid and the cutting of electricity supplies, further exacerbates the already dire situation. This has led to the closure of the water desalination plant, depriving over 600,000 people of clean water, and the shutdown of all bakeries due to fuel and flour shortages. The UN World Food Programme's warning that its hot meal supplies will last only 2 weeks paints a grim picture of widespread starvation. Israel's territorial ambitions, annexation or resettlement. While Israeli officials have refrained from explicitly stating intentions to annex Gaza territory, focusing instead on eliminating terrorist elements, the reality suggests otherwise. The seizure of approximately 62 square kilometers, around 17% of Gaza, forming a buffer zone, already demonstrates a significant territorial expansion. Prime Minister Netanyahu's announcement of capturing a second Philadelphia route, a corridor along the Egypt-Gaza border, reinforces fears of further territorial encroachment. The long-term implications of these actions remain unclear, but the potential for annexation or forced resettlement is a very real and deeply disturbing prospect. This project, once considered fringe, has gained plausibility following Trump's Gaza plan and the subsequent Israeli scheme facilitating voluntary transfer of Gaza residents to third countries. However, legal experts unequivocally condemn any such immigration under current circumstances as unlawful and tantamount to ethnic cleansing. This view is shared by many Palestinians who vehemently reject any resettlement proposals, emphasizing their determination to remain in their homeland. The human cost, hostages, public opinion, and a stalled peace process asterisk. The expansion of Israeli attacks has sparked outrage among families of hostages held by Hamas, who question whether their loved ones are being sacrificed for territorial gains. These families express profound concern that the priority of securing the release of hostages has been relegated to a secondary position. Public opinion within Israel reveals a significant segment supporting a ceasefire that secures the return of hostages in exchange for an IDF withdrawal from Gaza. However, Jason Burke, a seasoned Guardian correspondent reporting from the conflict zone, emphasizes the relatively small number of Israelis favoring a ceasefire that leaves Hamas in control of Gaza with its weaponry. The current situation presents a complex dilemma, highlighting the human cost of the conflict and the deep divisions within Israeli society. The seemingly unconditional support provided to Netanyahu by the current government raises concerns about the prioritization of strategic objectives over the well-being of both Israeli citizens and the Palestinian population. Global implications, Trump's trade war and its ripple effects. The global economic landscape is equally turbulent, with Donald Trump's imposition of tariffs on various countries, including the UK, EU, and China, igniting a global trade war. The UK, initially anticipating 20% tariffs, benefited from Keir Starmer's conciliatory approach, resulting in a 10% tariff. However, the impact remains significant, with dire consequences for jobs and wages. The diverse reporting across various news outlets reflects the global concern, ranging from Trump hits UK with 10% tariffs, in The Guardian, to Trump's tariff war on foreign scavengers, in the Daily Mail. This economic disruption adds another layer of complexity to the already challenging global situation. The UK's plan for a joint European fund to help finance continental rearmament further complicates the economic and political landscape. Domestic issues, racism, child sexual exploitation, and educational reform. Closer to home, a racist message broadcast at a UK asylum processing centre highlights the ongoing challenges of racism and discrimination. This deeply offensive incident demands thorough investigation and underscores the urgent need to address systemic issues within the asylum system. The arrest of a third former South Yorkshire police officer in connection with child sexual exploitation in Rotherham reveals the enduring legacy of this horrific scandal. Further investigation is imperative to ensure accountability and prevent similar tragedies in the future. In the realm of education, the Education Secretary's call for more male teachers to combat toxic behaviors highlights the crucial need for addressing gender imbalance and fostering a positive learning environment for all students. Other news: Myanmar earthquake, invertebrate competition, and cultural preservation. Beyond these major headlines, the impact of Myanmar's earthquake on the ongoing civil war, the Guardian's Invertebrate of the Year competition, and a tribute to the late actor Val Kilmer highlight the diversity of news and the importance of acknowledging both tragedy and celebration. The story of a woman embroidering a Fulkari portrait, seamlessly integrating both a photograph of men and her own figures, illustrates the powerful role of art in preserving cultural heritage and promoting inclusivity. Conclusion: navigating a world in crisis. The events described paint a picture of a world grappling with multiple crises, from devastating armed conflicts and humanitarian disasters to global economic instability and persistent social injustices. The need for international cooperation, empathy, and decisive action to address these challenges is paramount. The future remains uncertain, but the urgency to act is undeniable.